What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday. If you're a runner, if you're a triathlete, you know what Sunday means. That means long run. It is the day of the long run, one of the most important days of the week for getting fit, for getting strong. So today I'm out here and I am building up my long run, my mileage. I've got an hour and 50 minutes. It should be right about 15 miles. And you can see we're starting on a downhill. So we're gonna go, it's slightly down the whole first half and then it's slightly up the whole second half. So that adds a component of strength to it, and I'll try and basically run the same pace, which is the same as negative splitting, right? Because it's harder terrain, it's uphill on the way back. So that's what I've got in store. Just kind of nice 15 steady miles, good strength run. And throughout this run, I'm gonna offer you my 3 top tips for how you can implement better long runs to help yourself improve and just to be more strategic with your long run. And I think there's some confusion about how to do things. And yeah, it's really quite simple how to execute it. And these 3 tips will make you execute your long run better consistently. Tip number 1 to improve your long run. Let's feature Lara here. Don't be a silly Sammy. Well, you might ask, what is a silly Sammy? A silly Sammy is that guy, I'll give you an analogy, like when you go out to the bars with your buddies, right? Everyone's at the pregame, everyone's at a level 4. This guy's taking in shots and just at a level 10. And then when you're at the club, when you're dancing, and you're at a level 10, they're done. They got nothing left. You gotta take them home, you gotta put them to bed. That's a silly Sammy. How does that translate to the long run? That means you start too hard and you end with no gas left. If you're doing a long run, you should always negative split it. A standard long run if there's no pace work. Always negative split, start easier, end faster. You do this because it shows you've got control over yourself. It shows you've got more in the tank. And that way, it teaches you if you're running a marathon, half marathon, running a 70.3, that at the end, you've got that extra in the tank to pick it up. So there it is. Don't be a silly Sammy.
Why is Lara featured in that?
Oh, because you're being a silly Sammy. You're keeping up with me right now at all costs. And we'll see how you're doing an hour and 45 minutes into this thing. Number 2, follow the 10% rule. Only build your distance, your volume, or your time by 10% maximum per week. And so this little girl here, Lara Long, she's got a flip because she has increased her mileage by 10%. And it's really quite simple. I would advise, I think it's easy to say, oh, yeah, but I'm special, I can go 15%. Yeah, maybe you can, and you might get away with it, but there's just risk involved. It's better just to be steady, build that 10% per week. Now, maybe you think, should I do by time or by volume, by distance? I would say whichever comes first for the most part. Do so. If you reach time first because you're running slow, then go based off time from the previous week or go off distance. So that's a great tip, and you'll see, like, if you just follow it over a number of weeks, before you know it, you are up to a significant amount of time without risking injury. Even more important, like, well, not more important, but still important, like, you wake up the next day not totally smashed, so you're more consistent. So that's tip number 2. Only build your volume by a maximum of 10% per week. So, we all know of the tortoise and the hare. You can think of your long run as the tortoise and the hare, only there's other sequels to it written by Sam Long, which I'm going to explain to you right now. So, at first, there's progressions of the long run. There's levels of the long run, categories of the long run, and you want to think about what category, style of long run you are doing. And we start by being basically the tortoise. At first, the distance is enough. We're just trying to meet the distance. And so, when I start off, I'm going to start nice and steady, right? That's what I'm out here doing today. And when you do this, remember, don't be a silly Sammy. Negative, split it. And then, the second level you could say is, it's a transformation. This was what I would call a long run where you then do tempo at the end. So you start off as the turtle, you're going nice and steady, say for halfway, so you do 10 miles, and then you add tempo miles in. You go 5 miles, tempo, towards the end, okay? That's kind of level 2. That's as you're getting more fit, closer to the race. And then level 3, this is where they didn't tell you. This is the sequel to the book, and you turn into a jaguar. Baby, you turn into a jaguar, and it's the whole run is fast. It's an interval long run. You're meeting both the distance and the pace, often faster than race pace, and breaking it up. So with those 3 styles of long run, you want to think about what you're doing, and you progress those as the year starts. Just like, as I said, you start as the turtle, then you progress half turtle, half rabbit, then you turn into the jaguar. It's actually quite simple, and if you're a triathlete, there's yet another level to make it harder. You can add a bike first, and that'll further add an aerobic component, a strength component, and the demands of the race. Finally, when you think about this, it depends, right, on what distance you're training for, the long run you want to beat. Eventually, both the demands, as I said, of duration and pace. For a marathon, it's quite difficult. I don't suggest doing the full duration or pace, but even throughout the year, you'd want to do the turtle style long run, just the standard long run. We're out there building the strength on your legs, which obviously applies for Ironman. And for the half marathon, you'd be doing more of the jaguar run, right? Speed intervals, and still meeting 21.1K, or even a little over. So there we are, everyone. Those are my tips. We tried to make it simple so you can understand, and still lots of physiology. I know if you employ those, you will see benefits all throughout the year. Cheers. Thank you. I got 3/4 of a mile left. Let's go, baby. You.
I know you.
All right. You already know what I'm going to ask.
Yeah, no, I failed.
You are silly Sammy.
Yeah.
But
But, okay, wait. I have a question.
Yeah.
So, what if the terrain is uphill?
Yeah, this was very advanced.
Yeah.
Because
so,
actually, if you ran the same, that is negative splitting. So
I
that you,
didn't do that.
yeah.
A little slower.
But, you know, I think the lesson here is obviously these rules apply, but like, you did this so that you could run with me and have company, right?
Yeah.
If you were on your own, you would have run slower.
Right.
You were running with me. You were aware of what you were doing.
Yeah.
You knew it wouldn't have been possible.
It was
and
like tempo with you and then cool down.
yeah, and I think sometimes, like, we're trying to have fun. We do sports, well, I mean,
Yeah.
pros, we do it for a job, but like, we still get into it for fun, and everyone is doing it for fun. And so, like, I want to say you should always follow them, but it's also like, well, if it means running with people and having more fun, and then you're enjoying it and you're running more, well, the ultimate rule is to have fun with your training and exercising, right? So, how many miles did you get?
I got 13.
Woohoo! Good work, babe.
Longest mile since I ran with Lionel at the Indian Wells.
Yeah, there you go.